when we think about workplace and the benefits of human connection in the workplace and relationships, we can create greater efficiency. So if we're working longer, maybe part of it's because we're more disconnected than ever before, and we don't have the relationships that can create the synergy, that can create the efficiency, that can create so many benefits in what we try to do each day.
Do we work too much? Is that one of the reasons that we are unable to have just sheer time to do this kind of face-to-face engagement? I hear a lot of people say, and they've told me in the run up to this interview, but just, in other conversations, like, I would love to spend more time with my kids' friends' parents or my neighbors or this, but man, I got bills to pay. I've got a laundry list of errands to do. My work is just consuming. My boss is on my case. I've got nights and weekends all booked up. I don't have time to work out, let alone do this social stuff. How much of that is just sheer numbers in the day, right? Even if someone sleeps only 4 hours a night, which we're not recommending.
Yeah,
I think, we have plenty of stuff, all of us, to fill all that time. Are we working too much? I mean, is there just a hard reality that, unlike in, say, some European countries where there's an afternoon siesta, Mondays often our businesses are closed, a 4-day work week is not unusual in some places. In America, at least, and I think in Canada, correct me if I'm wrong, we have this strong puritanical Protestant work ethic, which is work, work, work. Our economies, at least for some people, have obviously reflected that work, but do we need to just work less? I mean, is it partly just that?
Well, I don't think unfortunately, it's death by a thousand cuts. And as we come out of the global pandemic, it'd be nice to think that we're just coming out of the global pandemic and that's all we had to deal with. And so we just need to get back to the way we used to be. But we've got, obviously we got shipping issues, we got inflation, we got, housing concerns, we got job concerns. There's so many complexities that are stressing people out day to day and forcing people to be, and I'll use the word fearful of maybe losing their job or fearful of not keeping up with, the expectations, which then what do we end up doing? We work longer because we know that we got to keep the bills coming in because the food's going up next week and the gas is going up. And if I lose my job and I'm only 1 month out from losing my home, well, then how much time are you willing to put in if all that is the risk on the other side? Of course, it's going to lead to us, feeling more, I don't want to say committed, feeling more stuck in having to do work. But I think, work, this trend, spending more time at the workplace is not just new. This has been going for 10 or 20 years, as you know. But I think when you add up work, when you add up social media or technology time, and what we need to really get down, and funny enough, I was on a call earlier with somebody who had this app on his screen. It pops up. I guess lawyers probably use this, which is every 15 or 30 minutes up on your screen and asks you what you've been doing for the last 30 minutes. So you start tracking how you're using your time. Mm-hmm. And I think each one of us, not that I'm, everybody can do what they want to do, but if we actually understood how we were spending our time, to me, that would be the first step about awareness and consciousness to say, actually, it turns out I spent 2 hours checking my phone, today in the midst of my workday. Did you know that if we don't have those warm relationships with people where we can create greater efficiencies, and rather than having to write you a 4-paragraph email, I pick up the phone and I go, hey, Dr. Modi, I'm working on this project. Do you know somebody who would have the answer to this question? And you go, yeah, here's his number, call him right now. He'll give it to you right away. And so when we think about workplace and the benefits of human connection in the workplace and relationships, we can create greater efficiency. So if we're working longer, maybe part of it's because we're more disconnected than ever before, and we don't have the relationships that can create the synergy, that can create the efficiency, that can create so many benefits in what we try to do each day. So what do we end up doing? We take everything on ourselves. We try to solve for it ourselves. And I think in a lot of cases, if that is why we bring people, why did we have the summer barbecue and the Christmas party? We did that so that people felt connected and hopefully create some efficiencies and synergies. What we now realize is doing it twice a year isn't enough.
Yeah.
We need to be doing this every 2-3 weeks. There needs to be a proactive calendar of activities that are bringing people together, not just to be social, but to learn, to grow, to build bridges and connect between each other. Because if we build that type of workplace culture where people feel socially connected and trusting and loyal to each other and to the organization, that's when the organization wins and the employees win as well. And that to me is the real sweet spot.
I 100% agree. There's a sort of famous business saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And I mean, I have seen that in my own health policy work. Culture, the larger social mores of what governs individual behavior within the context of an organization is the central reason why some teams, organizations, companies, for or nonprofit organizations succeed versus those that don't. And ones that have a human ethos at the core of them, you're always going to get people working harder, doing better, performing more than those that try and regulate that kind of behavior with edicts, policy, memos, rules, which isn't to say those aren't important, because it becomes intrinsic. You're going to work hard if your neighbor is part of your team, if there's a community spirit behind it. I know Bob is going to work with me. We're going to do this together. That bar is going to get built a lot faster. And I feel like if only for the success of your organization, I think everyone should heed what Pete just mentioned, because that is sort of a brilliant sort of encapsulation of that.